You know that moment. The charts go dark. The noise stops. No candles moving, no profit and loss flashing, no alerts buzzing. Just silence. And suddenly, you feel it. That strange emptiness that creeps in the moment the market closes. Like your entire identity just powered down with your trading platform. It's unsettling, isn't it? Because here's the truth nobody talks about. Most traders don't fear losing money. They fear losing purpose. That silence, it's not boredom, it's withdrawal. Your brain's screaming for the next dopamine hit, the next candle, the next chance to matter again. But here's the question that will haunt you until you answer it. Who are you when the market closes? When there are no trades to chase, no charts to analyze, no identity left to hide behind? Because that's where the real game begins. Not between buyers and sellers, but between you and the emptiness. Stay with me, because if you can learn to master that silence, you'll never chase another bad trade again. Every trader thinks they're battling the market, but the truth is, the market is just a mirror. It reflects back everything you refuse to face about yourself. When you overtrade, that's not lack of discipline. That's a lack of self-identity outside the charts. When you check your phone every 5 minutes for price updates, you're not managing risk, you're managing loneliness. And when your account is red and your mood crashes with it, you've tied your self-worth to pixels on a screen. I've seen this pattern destroy brilliant traders, not because they didn't have skill, but because they didn't know who they were without the market's validation. Welcome to Disciplined Trades, the place where we stop pretending trading is just about charts and start talking about the human being behind the keyboard. Because until you understand why you trade, you'll never master how you trade. In this video, we're going deep. You'll learn the 5 psychological shifts that separate traders who trade for freedom from traders who trade to escape themselves. And stick around to the end, because in shift number 5, I'll share the exact mindset ritual that saved me from losing everything. Not financially, but mentally. Now, tell me in the comments, when the charts close and the silence hits, what do you feel? Because the answer to that question reveals everything about the trader you're becoming. Number 1, the addiction nobody admits. Let's start with the ugly truth. Trading isn't just exciting, it's chemically addictive. Neuroscientists at MIT scanned the brains of day traders and found something terrifying. Each market tick triggers dopamine responses identical to slot machines. Your brain literally treats every green candle like a jackpot and every loss like a withdrawal symptom. That's why you can't stop refreshing charts. That's why you stare at screens even after you've sworn you're done for the day. You're chasing emotional regulation, not profit. It's not about money anymore. It's about mood. And that's where traders fall into the identity trap. They start defining their emotional stability through market activity. No trades equals no meaning. Be honest. How many times have you closed your laptop, walked away, and within 10 minutes opened your phone just to check something? That's not curiosity. That's dependence. But here's what's scarier. The longer you rely on trading to feel alive, the more the rest of your life starts to fade into gray. Friends feel dull. Conversations feel irrelevant. Only charts feel real. That's not freedom. That's addiction disguised as ambition. Your first step out? Awareness. Next time you close the charts, don't distract yourself. Just sit in that silence for 5 minutes. Feel the itch to check again. Observe it like a scientist, not a victim. Because the moment you can watch your craving instead of obey it, you start taking your power back. Number 2, the identity hijack. Here's where it gets darker. When traders tie their worth to their results, they stop being people and start being profit and loss statements. You made $1,000 today, you're a genius. You lost $1,000, you're garbage. Sound familiar? I once coached a trader named Eric. 6 figures in profits one month, down 80% the next. He wasn't addicted to trading. He was addicted to being a trader. Because in his mind, the word trader meant special. Not normal, not average, a rebel. Someone who outsmarts the system. When he lost, it wasn't about money. It was about ego death. He didn't know who he was without that label. And that's the identity hijack most traders never recover from. They stop trading markets and start trading self-worth. Think about it. You don't see plumbers posting their daily wins. You don't see doctors refreshing their hourly profit and loss. Why do traders do it? Because trading doesn't just attract the ambitious, it attracts the insecure. And the market gives both what they crave most, validation and destruction. You can't fix this by chasing more wins. You fix it by separating your identity from your performance. You're not a trader. You're a person who trades. Big difference. Because when you forget that, every loss becomes a personal attack and every win becomes a drug. The goal isn't to feel like a trader all the time. The goal is to feel like yourself, even when you're not trading. Number 3, the psychological withdrawal. Most traders underestimate the cost of silence. After 8 hours of constant stimulation, flickering screens, live data, adrenaline, your brain doesn't just want the market, it needs it. When that stimulation stops, your dopamine crashes, and suddenly the world feels painfully slow. That's why so many traders blow up accounts on Sunday nights. They can't handle the downtime. So they chase volatility where there is none. It's called the withdrawal gap. Your brain, desperate for excitement, will create drama just to fill the void. That's why you start checking Forex forums, Discords, Twitter, even after closing the charts. It's not information you're seeking, it's intensity. But here's the trick professionals use. They schedule their dopamine. After every trading session, they have a post-market ritual that grounds them. Meditation, gym, journaling, anything that reminds the brain there's life beyond screens. Paul Tudor Jones does this. He finishes every day by reviewing mistakes, then leaves his office to play tennis. He literally transitions from trader to human every single evening. Try this tonight. When you close your platform, write 3 sentences. What did I feel? What did I learn? What will I do differently tomorrow? Then walk away. No music, no phone. Just let the silence reintroduce you to yourself. Because that silence isn't punishment, it's detox. Number 4, the mirror test. Here's something most people will never tell you. Trading reveals exactly who you are when no one's watching. If you're impulsive, the market exposes it. If you crave validation, it magnifies it. If you hate losing, it weaponizes it against you. But the silence after trading, that's where the truth shows up. You realize how empty your sense of self has become, how your emotions orbit around one thing, charts. I call this the mirror test. When there's nothing left to analyze, who stares back at you? I learned this the hard way. Years ago, after a massive losing streak, I shut my screens off and went for a walk. No podcasts, no news, no distractions, just me and my thoughts. And for the first time, I realized I had no hobbies, no close friends I'd talked to in weeks, no joy outside the next setup. Trading had become my entire identity. I wasn't building wealth, I was avoiding myself. And that's what most traders are doing. They think they're chasing freedom, but really, they're running from emptiness. Ask yourself, if I couldn't trade for 6 months, who would I be? If that question terrifies you, you just found your next area of growth. Because until you build a life that exists beyond charts, you'll always return to them as a form of escape. Number 5, the reclamation ritual. Now we arrive at the shift that changes everything. The ritual that reclaims your identity from the markets. I call it the separation protocol. It's what the top 1% do instinctively and what the rest of the world never learns. The protocol has 3 parts. First, symbolic closure. When you finish trading, physically close your charts, then say out loud, the market is closed. I am done. Yes, it sounds trivial, but it's psychological. You're training your brain to detach. Second, identity reset. Do one activity that has nothing to do with finance. Cook, lift, call someone, go outside. Something that anchors you back into the real world. You need to reintroduce sensory input that isn't digital. Third, meaning reconnection. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Not why am I trading, but why am I living? Because when your why is bigger than your win rate, you stop letting markets decide your mood. I know a hedge fund trader who paints every night after work. He calls it emotional laundering because art reminds him there's beauty in uncertainty, and that's all trading really is. Your silence after the charts close, that's your art time. your space to reconnect with being human again, because trading is what you do. It's not who you are. Climax. Let's slow down. Imagine this. It's late. The screens are off. The room is quiet. No colors flashing. No numbers fighting for your attention. And in that silence, you feel something you haven't felt in a long time. Peace. Not excitement, not fear, just peace. That's what's waiting for you on the other side of obsession. See, the market was never your enemy. It was your teacher. Every candle, every loss, every sleepless night, it was all pushing you toward this realization. You don't need the charts to feel alive. You just need presence. You are not your profits. You are not your losses. You are not your watch list. You are the awareness watching it all. And when you can sit in silence, without reaching for the next trade, without needing to prove anything, that's when you finally win. Not in dollars, in discipline, in self-ownership. Because the ultimate freedom isn't financial, it's psychological. The moment you no longer need the market to feel complete, the market finally starts rewarding you. You stop forcing trades. You stop chasing noise. You start flowing with precision, patience, and peace. That's the paradox. When you stop needing trading to fill you, it finally starts paying you. So tonight, when you close your charts and the silence creeps in, don't run from it. Sit with it. Listen to it. Let it teach you who you really are. Because that silence, that's your real edge. Let's recap. You learned that your need to trade is often a craving for emotion, not profit. That your identity can get hijacked by labels and numbers. That silence isn't punishment, it's the path to power. And that mastering your mind outside the market is what separates traders who last from traders who fade. Now, here's your challenge. Tonight, when the market closes, don't touch your phone. Don't scroll Twitter, just sit. 5 minutes. No charts, no noise, just you and the silence. Then write one sentence. Who am I when I'm not trading? You might not like the answer, but that's the point, because awareness always comes before transformation. If this hit you hard, like it did for me years ago, hit like, not for the algorithm, for accountability. Subscribe if you want more of this, not strategies, but the real mental rewiring the pros live by. And comment below with one thing you'll do after closing your charts tonight. It could be as simple as walk, because that's how real change starts. And in the next video, we'll dive into the daily reset ritual I built after blowing my third account, the one that saved my sanity and rebuilt my discipline. Until then, remember this: the charts will always be there. The question is, will you still be there when they're gone? Close your platform, embrace the silence, and meet yourself again, because that is where the real trading begins.